Hello and welcome back. In this video, we are going to see how to model a G+3 story building in ETABS, apply different loads and analyze the structure, and as well as use the detailing tool to generate the drawings. Click on File and then click on New Model. And here I'm going to use the built-in settings. I'm going to use as US customary initially to enter the grid data and the steel section database as Indian. The steel design code is IS 800 2007 and the concrete design code is also IS 456 2000. And then we'll click on OK. After that, it will ask for the grid dimensions and the story dimensions. Here you can enter the uniform grid spacing as well as the uniform story dimensions. But I'm going to choose the custom story dimensions and custom grid spacing. First, I'm going to enter the custom story dimension, and here this is the plinth level. I'm going to rename it as plinth level, and this one is story 1, and this one is story 2, and this one is story 3. And till the plinth level, it will be at a height of 6 feet, and this will be 10, 10, and 10. And I'm going to make this one as the master story, because whatever will be the story 1, it will be continued till the other stories also. I'm going to make this also, and this one is not a master story, and this one say a story 1 similar to story 1. This one is also similar to story 1, and yeah. And then we'll click on OK. And now I'll enter the grid dimensions of the grid spacing, and remember this, you have to enter the ordinate x ordinate and the y ordinate, not the distance between two consecutive grains. First, in the x ordinate, I'm going to enter as 15. Next one is 27.5, and next one is suppose 37.5. And now in the y direction, we'll enter as first one as 12, and next one as 21, next one as 31. And here you can have a just preview of the grid, and then click on OK, and then OK. And now again, I'm going to change the units back to metric SI, because I've chosen the different unit system because I want it in feet for the grid and the story data. Now I'll choose metric SI. And to change between the plan view, click on the plan over here, plan like a symbol, and you can see different stories where you can choose the different plan levels. And first, in this part, we will see how to define the material. To define the material, go to define and material properties, add new material. Since the region is India and the steel, material type is steel, and I'm going to add this one. And the default properties will be taken because those are the standard materials which are available in the ETABS library. Next, I'm going to choose it as concrete of grade M20. Standard is Indian, and then click on OK. And then I'm going to add rebar material, and usually rebar material grade we can choose either 415 or 500 or 550. We can choose just 500 also, and default properties will be there, and then click on OK. After defining the material, you have to define the section properties, that is the frame section and the slab section. Frame sections, in the frame sections it includes beam and column properties. That is, click on add new property. Here you are going to choose the concrete rectangular section, and here I am going to name it as first beam. I'm going to name it as beam 450 mm into 200 mm, and I'm going to choose it as material M20 grade, and the depth here they are in mm, and the depth is 450 mm, that is 1.5 feet. and the width is 200 mm, that is 8 inches. And for the reinforcement, I'm going to show modify the rebar. Click on modify or show rebar, and here I'm going to design it as a beam. So I will choose the design tab as beam, and the rebar material I'm going to choose HYST 500 grade, and I'm going to provide a cover of 25 mm for the top rebar as well as the bottom rebar, and then click on OK and OK. Similarly, for the column, I'm going to rename it as C375 mm into 250, and I'm going to choose the grade as M20 here also, and the depth is 375, that is 15 inches, and the width is 250 mm. I'm going to click on modify or show rebar so that I can change the grade rebar material, and I'm going to choose the design tab as column, and here I'm going to choose the clear cover for the confinement bar is 25 mm, and the number of longitudinal bars along three directional face is this one. Along the width it is given as 3 mm. 3, let it be 3, and the number of longitudinal bars along two directional faces, that is these two faces, are 5. We don't need 5, we'll click on 4, and 4 are enough. Then click on OK, and then click on OK. And now we'll define the slab section. I'm going to modify this itself. I'm not going to create any one. I'm going to give it a property name as slab, and the slab material is M20, and stall is the same. Usually slab thickness is around 100 mm to 150 or 200 mm. On an average, everywhere the standard slabs are used of 150 mm, and then click on OK. And now we'll see how to add the beam and columns to the drawings. First, we'll change the plan view to plinth or the story. We'll change it to story 1 because that is the master story. We can apply, if we apply any beams or columns to this, for everywhere it will be applied. And first, you are having the option called quick draw secondary beams and the quick draw columns. First, I'm going to place the columns, and here the properties of the object will appear. Remember to change the properties. Since this is the column, choose the column which you have created, and you can either place it by moving the cursor on the grid, or you can either drag it, or here for creating all the columns in all the stories in one shot, select all stories and then drag the cursor around the grids. You can see in the 3D view all the columns have been created. Now similarly we'll create the secondary beams, or we can use this option also, quick draw columns or beams. And here also I'm going to change the object property. Remember to change the property, otherwise after analyzing and applying the loads you will have the problem. And here choose the similar stories, and I'm going to choose all the stories. You can see everywhere it is applied, but it is not applied at the plinth level. So I'm going to undo this, and I'm going to change back the plan view to plinth level, and here I'm going to apply it. First I have applied over here, or else you can apply there and come apply again here, or you can, now I'll change the plan view back to story 1, and here I'll apply the frame, that is the beams. All the similar stories are selected, and you can see all the beams have been placed properly. And now we will see how to place the slabs. Here you are having the option called quick draw. Here I am having called different options like quick draw floor, pick or draw rectangular floor and draw floor. And here I'm going to use the quick draw because it is easy. And for that, first again I will choose the properties as slab and I'm going to drag it everywhere. You can see all the slabs have been formed at the story 1, story 2 and the story 3. And now we'll save the file. We'll save it as G plus 3 and click on save. And now we'll see how to apply the loads. Here in eTabs, the loads, dead load of the each and every frames or the materials whatever we have assigned will be taken automatically. To check that, go to define and here we are having called the load patterns. Here you can see there are two default load patterns, that is the dead load and the live load. In the dead load you can see the self weight multiplier as 1. If you want to manually add all the self weight of all the elements, that is the frame, section, beam, columns and slab, you can enter it as 0 and add it manually. Since we have specified all the material properties of the beam, column, slab, that is M20, rebar, material and all, dead weight will automatically be taken. All you need to is apply the live load, that is the wall load and the live load of the slab. And now we'll create a new load, wind in X direction. And the type will be wind. And here I'm going to choose the Indian IS 8751987 and add. And the wind in Y direction also I'm going to choose and add. Now I'm going to add earthquake load in X direction and the type is seismic and we'll choose the Indian code for this one also. Here it is a IS 1893 2002. Add and wind earthquake load in Y direction also we will add. Now we'll modify the lateral loads. And for earthquake in Y direction, uncheck all the X, this direction and eccentricity for X. And default we'll leave it as it is. And here the story range is from the plinth level to the story 3. And here the seismic zone factor, it will be given in the table. That is the code book Indian IS 1893 2002 code book, it will be given. I'm going to choose this at 0.16 and the importance factor I'm going to give it as 1 and the time period I'll leave it as program calculated. You can manually define it also, and response reduction factor I will leave it as it is and then click on OK. Similarly for the earthquake in X direction and then click on plinth level, bottom story and the top story is 3 and then click on OK. And I'm going to modify the wind load in X direction and wind speed, it depends upon the area and the terrain category, it is specified in IS 8751987 code book and the structure class also. And if you want you can include the parapet height. I'm going to include the parapet height as 1.25 meter. If you don't want it, you can leave it. And I'm going to expose from the bottom story, that is be exposed from the plinth level to story 3 and then click on OK. Similarly for the wind in Y direction, 1.25 and the base level is from plinth to this. And wind speed, if you know, you can leave or you should be knowing, and then we'll click on OK. Now we have created all the load patterns. We don't need to apply the dead load because the self weight multiplier is already 1. And then we'll click on OK. And now we will define load combinations. That is, we cannot just use all the loads as it is. We will take the safety factor for all the load combination. Here we will add the default design combinations. I'm going to click it to convert to user combinations, that it will be editable for the concrete slab, concrete frame. Also concrete frame design includes for the beams and columns, and then click on here that there are many combinations generated. It will be in different that is for the ultimate load, that is a for the ultimate load and the different service conditions, the scale factor will be considered. If I click on the different one, it will come to know what and all the loads it has been taken, scale factor, what and all it has been taken, and then click on OK. And now we'll assign the loads. First, I'm going to save it. Remember to keep saving the file frequently. And now I'm going to assign the loads. Now for the frame, that is for the all the self weights are added. Now I need to add the weight of the wall. So I'm going to select all the beams, go to select object type, frame sections. I'm going to choose beams. You can see all the frames are selected, and now we'll click on assign frame loads distributed because it will be UDL, and I'm going to choose the load pattern as live. It will be 12 kilonewton per meter, and then click on OK. You can see all the loads have been added to the frames, and now I'm going to select all the slabs. Go to select properties and slab sections, and I'm going to select all the slabs. Now I'm going to assign the shell loads uniform, that I'm going to assign the live load. Live load usually for residential it is taken as 2 kilonewton per meter square. For heavy commercial vehicles, commercial buildings it will be taken as 3. For other industries or heavy industries it will be taken as 4 or 5. And then now for since it is for a residential purpose, I'm going to choose it as 2 kilonewton per meter square. And now again I'm going to select all the shell, that is all the slabs, and I'm going to assign the diaphragm. It transfers the vertical load. I'm going to modify it and make it as semi-rigid. It will behave as semi-rigid in practical, and then click on apply. And you can see for the different plans also it has been applied because we have chosen already all the slabs. And now we'll go back to the base level, and now we will assign support for this. I will select all the supports by dragging the cursor, and then we'll assign joint restraints. I'm going to choose it as all the fixed support, and then click on OK. You can have a 3D view. Remember, the 3D view should be open. If it is not open, you can just click on the 3D over here. It will be open, and you can view the. To rotate the model, click on Shift and the wheel button on the mouse, and then rotate in the direction in which you want to see. Now I'm going to define the rebar, that is reinforcing bar sizes. I'm going to clear all, and I'm going to add the common set, that is the SI. Remember, in market 6 bars are not there, and 14 bars are also not there. So I've deleted both the things by selecting and using the delete option on the keyboard. I have not saved the reinforcing bar sizes. So again, I'm going to define the reinforcing bar sizes. Go to define section properties, reinforcing bar sizes. I'm going to clear all, add the common set. I'm going to use it as SI. And since I've told 6 bars are not available, as well as 14 and then we'll remember to click on OK, otherwise it will not be selected, and then click on OK. And now we'll add the different design strip for the slabs to help in designing the slab reinforcement. I'm going to choose the tower since only one building is there, and the story I'm going to choose, and you have to include the middle strips. And the default grid system is only one G1 in the direction of X, and the strip layer will be A. Remember, you can assign the strip width distance, or you can keep it as auto also. In X direction, I'm going to place the grids, and now in the Y direction, and I'm going to change the strip layer to B. It should be done for each and every stories wherever the slabs are there. And now for the story one. And then click on OK. I'll save the model once again. And now, before analyzing the model, you have to check the model for any errors. To check the model for any errors, just click on Analyze and check the model option. Remember, select all and select this joint story assignment also, and then click on OK. It will check for any errors in the model. Here, if there are any errors, it will show warning and what are the errors. Here, the model has been checked, no warning messages are generated. If there are any errors, please correct the errors, otherwise the analysis results will be wrong. And now I am going to click on Run Analysis. You can see the animation also for the deformation. Here there will be an animation. Then stop it, and now you'll see how you can just click on Show Undeformed. You'll just undeform the shape. That will be. Now you can see the load assigned. You cannot see the dead loads because it will automatically be taken. You can just see the line load for the joints. Joints in the sense, since this is the joint, you can see the joints here. At the joints, you have not assigned any load, so you will not be able to see. And here, frame assigned loads. Dead load for the frame, that is for the beam, it will be automatically be considered. For the live, we have assigned as 12, you can see. And now for the shell loads also, dead load we have, it will be automatically being taken. And for the live load we have assigned as 2, it shows the value. And now if you want to show a deform shape, again you can show the deform shape for different dead load. You can see for the dead load the deformation, and for the live load also you can see if to get the confirmation whether the dead load is added or not, you can see the deform shape. When you click on dead load, the deformation takes place. If there are no dead load assigned, the deformation will not take place. And you can just see the and draw the contours. And in the wind in X direction also you can see, and wind in Y direction also you can see, and earthquake in X and earthquake in Y. You can also use the combo also, but you should be knowing what and all that is the safety factor is taken. That is 1.5 times dead load, live load, whatever one. Or you can manually create the combinations and then click on OK. And to find the reactions, that is the support reactions, which is very useful for designing the foundations. I'm going to choose for dead load. So you can see the different reactions. I'm going to choose the view as tabulated. It is easy to remember. You can choose which are the values you want. You can see for different values or for different supports. You can see you can just change back the plane view, and now you can see the different values, reaction values clearly for each and every support. This data can be very useful for designing the foundation or the footing. And for the live load also you can see, for wind also you can see, and for the wind y direction also you can see, earthquake also you can see, earthquake in both x and y. You can also have an option for the combo also, where the safety factor of the combination, design combination for which you have selected shows the different values of reactions. And I'm going to change back it to 3D view. And here we are having the option to display the frame forces. And here I'm going to choose for the dead load. I'm going to choose the axial. I'm going to choose all of this and see the axial force acting on the column. Shear also you can see. You can see different values of shear. If you want, you can show the values by just clicking the show controlling values. All the things you can see, even the torsion for different dead load, live load, or for the earthquake load, all the things you can see. Even for the different design combinations also you can see the values. And now we'll see different shell, that is the forces on shell, there is a slabs, and see the resultant force of the shell stresses also you can see, and show different values. Okay, if you want, you can show the values also over here. You can see these are the values. You see the resultant forces also. For the different combinations also you can see. And for the different load cases also you can see, for say suppose wind, you can see all the values. Using these values you can design it manually, or with the help of the software itself you can design. And now we'll click on design, and now we'll see so design groups. I'm going to choose all the design groups for the frames, and now design combinations, all the default combinations to be taken. The crack width is not necessary. If you want, you can add the design combinations for the crack width. And now we'll click on start on design check. It will start designing the frames and check whether the members will fail or it will pass the design. You can see all the members have passed the design. So you can see there is no red color thing, or you can also just view whether verify the analysis versus the design section. It will verify all the analysis and design sections are matched, and we'll see verify all members have passed. Here it shows all the concrete frames have passed. If any of the members have failed, it shows the error overstressed. For that, you need to change the cross section of the frame. And now we'll see concrete slab design. We'll select the stories for the design. I'm going to choose story 1, 2, 3, and now we'll see the design combination. All the combinations are loaded by default, and now we'll start designing and all the strips. Remember, you have to define the strips. If there are no strips, the design of the slabs will not take place. Here they are the different values, and now I'm going to choose display flexural design, and here I'm going to choose it as finite element based, and I'm going to impose new reinforcing, or you can choose the strip based also. Then click on apply. Here you can add the rebar size. You can add the typical reinforcement, defining the bar size and the spacing. Let it be the spacing of 150 mm, and we'll click on apply. Here it does not show for the strip based. I'm going to choose it for the finite element. Here you can see, if I take 8 bar in the direction 1, that is the top bar, the values on the reinforcement is sufficient. If I take it as 250 and apply, it shows this little bit high. In the top bar, let us say now, and the top bar, the reinforcement is okay. So I'm going to try to increase this also. Here it shows now it is very high. Now I'll keep it to 200. Using these values, you can see it should be minimum. And now for the top rebars, I'm going to see here, you can see you can have a scale. It should have a minimum values. You should make sure that the bar size and the spacing should have minimum values, so that the values over here will be shown minimum. You can choose it for the both direction 1 and direction 2 also. After all this, click on save the model, and now we'll see how to generate the reinforcement drawings. To generate the reinforcement drawings, you have to use a software called CSI Detailing. Open the CSI Detailing software. And now click on File and New Detailing. Now click on Open ETABS file. Open the location where you have saved the ETABS file. If you want, you can close this file. The CSI detail will again open the ETABS file, that is which file you are going to detail it, and automatically close and do some calculations. It shows this error because I have not added the pair and all. And then click on OK. That's not an issue. That is for the foundations. And I'm going to change the detailing units. I'm going to change it to all to US, because the units are I require in feet, inches, and force I require in kilonewton. And the rebar length is in feet, slab area square feet, concrete volume is cubic feet, and the rebar weight is in tons. And that is okay. And I'm going to select only these. I'm going to uncheck these two floors because I require the floor slab design for only story 1, 2, 3. And now I'm going to choose the standard preference for the detailing, that is ISO 46 2000. And I'm going to change the rebar sizes. If you have provided the proper rebar size in the ETABS, it will ETABS, by changing the reinforcement bar sizes, it will take the same thing. If you have not done there, you can change it over here. And I'm going to change the rebar rules. And for the rebar rules, I'm going to keep all the stirrups as 8 in dia, both in seismic as well as the non-seismic. and the minimum spacing, let it be the same thing for the both, otherwise you can change it. But if the design or the detailing fails, you need to change the spacing. Even for the columns, I'm going to change the ties to diameter of 8. Right, preferred is also 8, so preferred, if you keep it as 8, it will automatically be taken. And then click on OK, and I'm going to set up a drawing sheet, metric ISO and A4. And then we'll click on OK to generate the drawings. It will generate all the standard drawings. If you want more detailed drawings, you can add more. Here they are having the standard details. In the standard details, you can see what are the list of the drawings and the general notes. And here you can see the typical beam elevation. This is a typical beam elevation for this drawing, and here you can have this zone A, zone B, zone C, and zone B and zone A. This is the typical lap beam height, and this is the distance L1 and L2. Total is L, and can just zoom in and zoom out. And this is a column, typical column reinforcement. You can see this ties, and this is a typical lapping length, ties in zone B, ties in zone A, and this is height H1, and this is a tie in zone C. You can see all the typical reinforcement, and this is the column section A, and these are the mat slab and mat details. And now we'll go to the slab, and here they are having the schedule and tables. In the schedule, you can see the total area, volume, and the thickness, and the beam weight, and the rebars ratio. You see, and here you can see the weight, that is the number of rebars. You require 10 mm of length this much and width this much, sorry, and weight 1.542 ton, and this one is of diameter 12 mm is 0.261 ton, and 16 is 0.008 ton. And you can see the different framing views for the story. For each and every story, it will be designed. You can just check it. And for all the top, bottom, you can have the suction also. And here you are having the rebar cage views also. Rebar cage. There is a 3D view of the rebar. You can see. You can use the control. And similarly, for all the stories, it will be generated. You can see for all the stories, it will be generated. And now we'll go to the beam details. Here you can see the framing plans. There's a beam frame plans for the different story, and here you have the schedule for all the beams. See, here you are having the section size and the longitudinal pass in zone A to 2 of 16 mm dia, and here also 2 of 16 mm dia, and in F also 2 of 16 mm in dia. You can see, and all the stirrups also here they are given 10 of 8 mm at a spacing of 4 inches in zone A. Here 23 8 mm at 4 inches spacing. In zone C also they are given, and here also you can see the rebar quantities, that is the total weight is 4.559 tons, and for 16 mm and 8 mm is 2.181. And bill of materials also you can see, that is the total rebar weight, volume. And for the different beams, you are having the for different, that is for the different stories, you are having the different beams. For each and every different beams, you can see the elevation over here. You can see this is the elevation, and here there is a cut section A, B, C, and A. You can see there is a cut section A. These two are of two numbers of 16 mm, and these two are also of two diameters of 16 mm. This width is 7 3/4 inch and the height is 17 5/8 inch, and the stirrup is of 8 mm at 4 inches each. Here also everything is the same, and the stirrup is also the same. Here stirrup is also the same. Here you can see the reinforcement profile, bill of material for each and every beam, and this is the reinforcement gauge, you can see. And similarly for the column also it is being the same. This is the framing plan, and the schedule is also given over here for each and every column. And elevation, there is all the elevations are given. You can see all the values, 8 mm diameter, 6 inches, all the fields are given over here. And in order to find all the 3D detailed model of the rebar as well as the structure, go to view and CSI detail viewer. Here you can see the concrete surface design. When you click on beam rebars, it will show all the beam rebars. It's still taking time to load. Now all the column rebars are there, and all the slab rebars are also there. And just have a rotation view, and now you can just zoom in and zoom out by using the wheel button, also wheel on the mouse, or you can just rotate the model by using the shift and the left mouse key. You can just rotate and see the details and see how all the details are there. You see we cannot have the different values. You cannot see the values of the rebar or whatever. This is just the view. And thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe my channel for more videos like this, and for any suggestions comment below in the suggestion box.